Hey guys, I'm back with a new recipe, and this time we are going to be getting into this juicy oven roasted chicken. You guys, this is so good, perfect alternative to turkey, especially if you're just a small family. And before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's go. So first and foremost, we're going to be starting with our whole chicken. As you guys know, I like to clean my chicken just because most of the time when I get a whole chicken from the store, there's still like some little debris left on. There's some feathers here and there. Believe it or not, chickens have like little blackheads sometimes, so I just like to get all of that off. Like, as you can see right here, there's still like some leftover debris on top of it. I'm just cleaning that off and plucking off any feathers that were left over as well. And in my water, I just simply have half a cup of vinegar. I have 2 tablespoons of salt, and I squeeze 2 fresh limes. And just repeat that all around the chicken. And then you take it out, pat it dry, and place it on your cutting board. Now we are going to be taking out the spine of the chicken. So just turn it over, and we're going to be using a very sharp pair of kitchen scissors. And we're just going to be dragging across that spine right there. Literally just follow all the way up. And it's going to be a little bit tricky, especially when you hit like some of the harder bones, but just keep on pushing through. It does not have to be a perfect straight line. It's totally fine. And just go ahead and repeat that same thing on the other side as well. Alright, so once that spine is completely out, we are going to go ahead and flip that chicken over. Now there's 2 ways that you can do this. I just take out that little thermometer there. There's two ways that you can do this. You can pop the breastbone, or you can go ahead and use a knife and just give it a little slit, and it's going to lay down flat. Now I'm just taking some rosemary here, and I'm just plucking it off of the stems here because I want it to be extra. And I'm just gonna chop that up really fine. Now in a medium-sized bowl, I'm gonna add 3 sticks of butter and go ahead and drop in that rosemary that I just added. I'm gonna be using 1 tablespoon of each seasoning that you guys see here on the screen. So I used some dried parsley. I also use a little tiny bit of salt. For the salt, I did about 1 teaspoon actually. And for the red pepper, the red chili flakes, I did use 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon of allspice, 1 tablespoon of oregano, 1 tablespoon of black pepper. This was actually oopsie right here. I added a little bit too much, so I took out a little bit. And then I'm going to be using 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of Goya adobo, and this is my secret ingredient for all of my roasted chickens, turkeys, all of that. I add in 1 tablespoon of jerk seasoning. Now I'm just taking my spoon here. I'm just gonna mix that up really well, just making sure that I'm just mixing all of those seasonings completely into that butter, because this is what's gonna make our chicken so flavorful and so juicy. And most of the seasonings that we're gonna get and the flavor that we're gonna get inside of that chicken comes from this butter right here. So I'm just making sure that I'm getting everything mixed up really nicely, that there's no clumps of butter in here that don't have any seasoning. Now I'm going to be taking my hands and I'm going to start to separate the skin of the chicken from the meat. Be very careful here, because if you're too rough, especially if you have long nails, you can rip the skin of the chicken, and that's not what you want to do. So just really take your time here, go all the way down, and just use your fingers to just really carefully separate that skin from that meat here. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take that same butter mixture that we made earlier, and we're just going to be putting that underneath the skin of that chicken. This is really going to help the chicken to stay really moist and infuse all of that flavor really well into the meat while keeping the skin crispy on top. So I'm just going to be sticking that in everywhere. Remember, I said just be careful when you're underneath the skin here. The last thing you want to do is tear it. So I'm just really just taking my hands to just really massage that around and spread it out evenly here. As you can see, it was a really long video, so I did speed it up a bit, but I really wanted you guys just to see exactly the hand motions that I was using just to spread that butter around. Like I said, just be really gentle, take your time with this part, and just move that butter everywhere. Try to get it everywhere in every single crack as much as you can without being too rough. Now, once you have butter everywhere and everything is spread out all nice and evenly, we're going to be taking a piece of paper towel and just patting that skin dry one more time, just to make sure we're removing any excess water or anything that's still sitting on there. Do not forget to get the wings at the back. Just lift them up and just do a little pat right underneath everything, and just make sure that we're taking as much water out of there as possible. Now I'm going to be going in with some olive oil. If you guys like any other oil, vegetable or avocado, you can use that as well, but my choice is preferably olive oil. So I'm just going to be spreading that all over the chicken. I didn't use a set amount. I just tried to coat that skin as much as possible, because we're going to be putting on a really good layer of seasonings on top of that. Now I'm going to go ahead and go with my seasonings. It's going to be garlic powder, and spread it all over. Same thing with your onion powder. We're going to be using clove powder and black pepper as well. For my black pepper, I misplaced the lid on it, so I had to sprinkle it by hand. But same thing as usual, just want to get that everywhere and as even as possible. Here's my clove powder. Just gonna do a really nice sprinkle. And for the seasonings, I used about a tablespoon of each seasoning, I want to say. I literally just sprinkled it on top. So if you're looking for an exact measurement, I would say about a tablespoon. I'm going in with allspice as well, and now I'm going to be using some smoked paprika. If you have regular paprika, you can use that as well, but I wanted that smoky flavor on there as well. And I'm going to be using some cayenne pepper. That is completely optional. I do like to have a little bit of a kick to my chicken as well, so that's why I use that. I'm using cumin, and I'm also going to go ahead and use some sesame. And like I said, just spread that out really evenly. And my secret ingredient as well, my jerk seasoning here, just spreading that out really nice. If you do at this point feel like you need some more oil on top of that chicken to help it spread really smoothly, go ahead and do so and add on some more. Alright, now you want to take your time and really rub in all of those seasonings. Make sure that you're getting it everywhere. Try not to disturb the butter underneath the skin as well, but you want to make sure that you're really just rubbing that in really nicely. Don't forget about the wings. Lift them up, get it in between the cracks and the crevices of that, and make sure you go ahead and flip it over and repeat the same thing on the other side as well. Now I'm just gonna tuck my wings here and go ahead and flip it over and just repeat the same process on this other side here with my olive oil and my seasonings as well. Now for the vegetables, I literally just chopped up everything really big, not any fine chops. So I'm just chopping up 4 stalks of celery right here. I used 2 bell peppers, and I just chopped those up really big. And I also use 1 yellow pepper, 3 red potatoes, and I also chopped up some more rosemary again and some more thyme. And I lined all of that up on a half a sheet pan. I think it was a half a sheet pan. And I'm just gonna go ahead and add on that butter mixture. I saved a little bit of it, and I'm just gonna sprinkle that all over. Just making sure that I try to spread it out as even as possible. And I also added 3 carrots in here as well. The videos weren't uploading, so I literally just have to tell you guys. I don't know why I was fighting with it for the whole day. So after all of that was added on, I just went ahead and rested my chicken down, and this was how it looked right here. And we're gonna pop that in the oven at 350 degrees for about 1 hour and 15 minutes, or until the internal temp of your chicken and the parts like the thighs and the breast read 165 degrees. And this was the finished product right here. Literally, it was so delicious. And like I said, it's a perfect alternative to a turkey, especially if you have a small family or it's just you and your spouse like it is with me. And this is such a juicy, amazing, flavorful chicken. I love it so much. I do it on regular weeknight dinners as well. So it's just perfect for Thanksgiving as well. And I just plated that up with some mashed potatoes, and I used some of the veggies that was underneath the chicken. Those were so flavorful as well. Do not sleep on those. And I'm just drizzling some of that juice that we got from the chicken there. And like I said, I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll have more videos out for you guys. Bye.